Well, that's an appropriate moment at which to respond and say the delegations that co-sponsored this conference have been following this and been drafting a statement, the Alexandria Statement or Alexandria Declaration towards a new Japan-Arab partnership. And this is closer to a diplomatic statement. So as a result, it is perhaps less forceful than what some of you may wish, but nevertheless, it does provide, I think, a clear sense of commitment that we want to follow and that we want to pursue. So if there are no more comments, questions, or additions, Dr. Kurakawa, one more? Okay, Dr. Kurakawa, go ahead. Thank you.
No, I think perhaps some of you may know I have been working very closely with Ismail and also serving through this Bibliotheca Alexandria, which is a wonderful treasure and heritage of the both West and East civilization. This is the first academy of human history, like 2,400 years ago. Now 40 or 50% of all the information we get daily basis is not by written text, not by speeches, but rather by visual input, be it the TV, internet, whatever have you. And visual input has a very powerful influence on kids, you know, like older people. And there's a very interesting program at MIT called Visualizing Cultures. It's a very interesting program. You can study that even on the internet. And I think I like to work through BA here, maybe a course series of visualizing culture, and give that visual impact on heritage, art, music, movies, whatever have you, and give a different sort of perspective. And this MIT program is led by John Dowers, who is a historian, particularly on Japanese history, and also Professor Miyakawa, who is a linguistic professor. And I have been working with these guys. I mean, I think I talked to you. This is a very powerful tool to communicate and share the sort of value on contemporary technology. Thank you.
Thank you indeed. And I am glad you raised that MIT Visualizing Culture program. And also I hope that people here have had a chance to visit the Culturama and other aspects of our work in the Library of Alexandria. We have, that's it. If this is it, I can mention it. Please go ahead.
Building on what Dr. Adli said, it was quite clear enough from the early beginning of this conference that we need a mechanism for follow-up, practical rather than diplomatic.
You're not going to get it. At the end of the day, things like that are either going to be intergovernmental, which means that they are diplomatic, or they're going to be inter-people, which means we need volunteers. And if you want something, you do it. I will provide you with the space here in the Arab world, but you do it. It's not somebody sitting back and saying, why hasn't the library done this? Why hasn't the library done that? Why didn't I receive information about this? No, we are all going to be in this together, and we are going to make it happen, and every one of us is going to contribute to make it happen. That's when things will change, and we will have a real mechanism, pragmatic, practical, that will move forward and will do a lot of things. But let me, at this stage, before I move to a concluding statement on the conference, I really need to read to you what the various participants in organizing this conference feel that we have come up with. So I will read that, and I hope that based on this whole discussion, you will find echoes of it. It may not have this specific or that specific proposal in it, but it will have, I think, the bulk of what you want. It says, representatives of governments and members of civil society from Japan and the Arab world met in Alexandria, Egypt on November 20-21, 2007 for the Japan-Arab Conference with the desire to further strengthen and develop partnership between Japan and the Arab world. The conference was hosted by the Library of Alexandria along with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Egypt and the League of Arab States and in cooperation with the government of Japan. Over 250 leading policymakers, academic, business lead, executives, scientists, artists, representatives of civil society, and others from 17 Arab countries and Japan participated in the conference and discussed a variety of issues of common interest and concern, as well as means to advance cooperation to higher levels. The issues were examined in 4 tracks: political and diplomatic, economic and financial, cultural and social, and science and technology and environment. The discussions were frank, meaningful, and encouraging. The participants examined a variety of proposals to enhance our ties. At the conclusion of the conference, the participants, confirming the importance of strengthening cooperation between Japan and the Arab countries in order to face serious challenges in a complex world, adopted the following statement. 1. We believe that Japan and the Arab countries, both having long-standing cultures and civilizations, can complement each other in pursuing sustainable development in a globalized world, while preserving their unique cultures and traditional values. This is with the recognition of Japan's success in maintaining its rich culture while achieving rapid economic development, and taking note of the Arab countries' desire for Japan's support and cooperation in current efforts to achieve modernization and reform in the Arab world. 2. While we note with satisfaction the steady development of the bilateral relations between Japan and Arab countries, we have been nurtured mainly in the economic field, we believe that it is time to advance future Japanese-Arab relations to a new level of cooperation involving wider economic relations. Therefore, we discussed possibilities of exploring new domains of economic partnerships in areas such as high technology-related investment, IT, telecommunications, nanotechnology, generic pharmacy, etc. The participants addressed various issues concerning renewable energy agreements, with agreements to go beyond oil and benefiting from new technologies in this area. 3. We also believe that at the heart of any reform, and as the basis of economic and social development, there is a pressing need to promote human resource development. We agree, therefore, that improvement in the fields of education and occupational training should be placed at the top of the agenda for any modernization and reform effort. With this in mind, we discussed possibilities of increasing educational and cultural exchange opportunities between Japan and the Arab world. 4. We concur that climate change is a challenge deeply related to the goal of achieving human security, in tandem with economic development for all. In order to achieve this goal, it is of vital importance to develop innovative technologies that will contribute to energy efficiency and conservation. Sharing the same concern over the problem of climate change, we intend to work together to address global warming. 5. We are deeply concerned over the continued conflicts and signs of instability in the Middle East, and reaffirm our commitment to work together to achieve peace and stability in this important area of the world. In particular, we underline that ensuring a lasting, just, and comprehensive settlement of the Arab-Israeli conflict is one of the most important tasks of the region, as well as the international community. We note with pleasure Japan's effort to help the Palestinians develop a viable economy of their own through the Corridor for Peace and Prosperity project, and welcome Japan's continued active involvement in the Middle East. 6. We welcome the timely holding of the Japan-Arab Conference as our joint effort to further promote mutual understanding and cooperation between Japan and the Arab countries. And 7. Building on the fruitful discussions of the conference, we agreed to examine how to maintain momentum created by this conference and to examine the possibility of convening follow-up meetings, including similar conferences in the future.